I'm Carl Bauman from US Shift. I'd like to introduce you to Jake Chandler, who you've probably spoken with in the past.
This is my car, the 2006 Mustang GT that we're doing the 10R80 swap on. It's a simple bolt-on car, cold air raid intake, custom tune, just a mail order tune at this point, but that might be changing. Actually, that's changing as we speak. Starting up front, we did go with the BBK tuned length headers, just because we already had, the motor kind of up and out of its cradle for the transmission, and we figured why not? It's an extra bit of power and better sound. It's a good quality product. We decided to go with an off-road X-pipe design, right now due to fitment issues. If you run the stock catalytic converters, you will have clearance problems. We also went ahead and, again, because the engine was sort of up and out of the mounts for the swap, we went with DMR motor mounts, the polyurethane. So it's a nice cross between solid mounts, and it does have a little bit of cushioning and flex. So it's not a nightmare of a ride or teeth chattering. I want to make sure and point out that we do have the original 331 rear axle ratio that came in the car. The car does fine in first gear with this 331. And it makes sense because the newer Mustangs that come with the 10R80 from the factory, we looked it up and they actually have 331 standard. So it makes sense when you drive the car, but on paper we thought it might be too much, but it's not. And then just finishing up the exhaust, we just have good aftermarket SR Performance mufflers. And other than that, as you can see, it's a pretty simple setup.
This swap has a lot of appeal because these cars came with a not so great transmission from the factory, and they're actually, pretty inexpensive on the market now. And the 3-valve motor has a lot of potential. The transmission was a big bottleneck in these cars, unfortunately, in the factory ECU tuning, and the torque reduction to save that smaller 5R55S transmission was also an issue. But another nice feature of this is this S197 basically later got the Coyote and the 6R80, and this is a factory S197 6R80 crossmember bracket, and the mount is also the same thing, and these parts are bolt-in. The 10R80 was really designed to be kind of a drop-in replacement for the 6R80 across all the vehicle lines, so the pad location is the same. The flange is about an inch further back, inch and a 16th as far as I've measured. It bolts in as if it came with the vehicle. But this is a 2011 to 2014 Coyote 6R80 drive shaft, and just had our drive shaft shop cut an inch and a 16th off the front section, and it fits like a glove. I'm not sure if Ford changed the sheet metal in the floor pan over the S197 run or even into S550, but there's plenty of room. The transmission fits really nicely in the tunnel. This is a shift cable bracket for a 2018 up 10R80 Mustang. Bolts right on. The cable is from the same application, 2018 up 10R80 Mustang. In the cooler lines, we used our DEI wrap, as Jake mentioned. These are Aeroquip push connect fittings, socketless fittings, which are a little hard to get on, but they're good. And that is a power by the hour adapter to get us to AN fittings. These are 8 AN lines, or ½ inch essentially, which is what you need for a 6R or a 10R transmission. And then we fabricated these brackets, use these holes in the bottom of the bell housing to allow the cooler lines to cross over from one side to the other. And we're going to refine this design a little bit and probably make it in stainless steel and make it available. It's a little bit tight, so we're going to add a little more room to it, but yeah, we'll make these available because I believe all the V8 10R80s have these holes in them. So this is a really convenient way to get your cooler lines across and secure them. It's really solid, and that should work well. So as we come up to the front of the vehicle, you can see the cooler lines coming up here, and we had to have a cooler with half-inch fittings or 8AN fittings because these transmissions need that size line. The 3/8 is not adequate. The original transmission actually did have half-inch lines, and it did have a half-inch cooler. We've been using the S550 cooler normally, which is a good fit for a lot of things, but the bottom line is the radiator's already set up to accept the factory cooler, and it works perfectly. It should be plenty adequate. It's big enough. So we decided to retain that. OEM replacements are no longer available, so we bought an aftermarket one and installed it and just ran our lines right to that, and it worked perfectly. So for the shifter, we wanted to add this Manutronic plus minus manual shifting button for sport mode, and we didn't want to get into having to add paddles to the steering wheel, so we thought this was a good compromise. The original shifter wasn't in great shape anyway. This bezel and the shifter goes on much like the original one did, and this shifter has exactly the same mounting points as the original one to the floor pan, so the bolt holes and the studs all line up. Everything is good there. We had to carve out a portion of the console, as you'll see, of the actual console, and the cover plate, the bezel, this piece here, we had to cut out to match the bezel and let it fit in properly. And now it fits like a factory application. The only clue is that the bezel is really close to the cup holder, but many people probably wouldn't even notice that. We have to use a 10-speed 10R80 Flexplate. And one of the things they did with the 10R80 is they changed the starter to make it crank the engine faster because of engine start-stop, I believe. And you'll notice the Flexplate teeth, the overall diameter of the ring gear is the same, but the teeth are larger than the 164, and I think there's 141 of them, I believe. So you can't use this with an older starter. You have to use the 10R80 starter, which actually has a different bolt pattern. Unlike all the other modelers that have 3, this has 2 bolts. But anyway, this is the correct flex plate, but as you might remember from the Silver Bullet series, this only works on an 8-bolt crankshaft. I convinced our friends at Suncoast to make us a prototype. They make a beautiful billet flex plate for the 10R80, an 8-bolt configuration. I said, can you make one with 6 bolt holes? And they said, sure. And this is the prototype. It looks a little rough because it's been sitting around, but we're finally putting it in this car, and we verified the fitment. The backspace is the same. I believe it's SFI approved, so it's safe for big power and, certain drag racing classes where that's required. And of course, it does have the correct tooth pattern and pitch, so this is a nice bolt-on and upgrade and a safety upgrade too. So definitely a good piece, and it makes this swap possible.
All right, Carl, so what do you think now that we finally finished the car? I'm just thrilled with the way that it turned out. What are your thoughts on it?
No, I'm very happy. The transmission's working very good. Everything's there. We've discovered a few more issues. That was one of the benefits of having this car in the stable.
Yeah.
We get a few more issues worked out before it goes out to customers to make sure it's perfect.
Right.
We're not doing our testing on 1 or 2 vehicles, so that's an important thing. So we're happy with how the transmission's working. We still have a few engine tune issues to deal with. These 05 up computers are a little bit picky about removing the automatic transmission, and we're trying to deal with that the best way we can. So.
Is it safe to say, do you agree right now at this stage that the majority of the issues that we're having are not related to our system or the actual transmission swap? It's primarily the engine tuning.
I'm perfectly happy with how the transmission's working. It couldn't be better, honestly. It
feels great. The first thing that I noticed driving it today for the first time, as soon as we pulled out of the driveway here at the shop, I looked down at the remote display and we were in 9th gear. It was shocking to me, having never really driven something like this.
Well, that's the funny thing. You take off at like 10 or 15% throttle, and before you know it, you're going 50 miles an hour in ninth gear.
Yeah.
And you're not even accelerating hard. It just happens. And
it was amazing. And the other amazing part was feeling it step down, at 50 miles an hour, and giving it a lot of throttle. It felt awesome.
I can tell you for a fact that I put a lot of time into downshifts, downshift scheduling, downshift handling, as far as, what gear you can go into from previous gear. And
right.
The downshifts are now self-tuning, which we're adding to all of our products. There are certain gears that you can downshift to in one step, and other ones require 2 steps.
Yeah.
It's actually possible to downshift from 10th gear to 2nd gear.
And it doesn't knock your teeth out.
No, it doesn't. You're slowing down, coasting in 10th gear to the point where it's about to downshift out of 10th gear.
Yeah.
And you're down to like 30-something miles an hour, where if you step in the gas at all, it would go out of 10th gear. But if you mat the throttle, it'll go to 2nd.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I love this transmission. I mean, it has capabilities that are beyond belief.
Do they do that in OEM applications? 10th to 2nd? Or is that an us thing?
It might be an us thing. I don't know.
That sounds like an us feature. We really hope that you enjoyed this look at my 2006 Mustang GT. We've got other projects in the works, so if you did watch this video all the way to the end, we really appreciate it, and we're going to be doing more stuff like this in the near future.